Today, my dad's making me get a haircut because I'm going to Aspen. This has always been a heated debate between me and my dad about hair length.
Why me, Paolo?
Because you're making me get my hair cut.
Okay, what's the relation of the beauty of the haircut?
Well, the hair is an important part of me, and you're ruining it. Why do you want me to get my hair cut so bad?
Can you see yourself?
Yeah, chicks dig it.
I'm the president and CEO of the American Red Cross.
I'm the chief researcher at a computer company called Sun Microsystems.
I founded a non-profit.
I invented virtual reality.
I'm CEO of a.com.
I am the CEO and founder of globalgiving.com.
And I'm the CEO of meetup.com.
I'm the president and CEO of the Public Broadcasting Service.
And I started a company called Mama Media.
I'm the president and director counsel of the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. You can call me Ted.
I was very worried about the United States of America when I was a young person.
This is 300, 400 of the world's smartest people. And you watch some of these people who are in every day, they speak and everybody else listens. Here they listen because they're trying to be open for a bit to hear new ideas.
One of the things Salesforce is trying to do as a company is we're trying to change the way that business is run. So we're trying to say you don't have to be a giant established company to make a difference in the world. We got into media because kids were into it. It's a great way to teach technology skills in the background and have youth expression be in the foreground.
Go around the table, say who you are, and say how you landed in this room.
My name is Theo Ellington, and back in, I believe it was 7th grade, I joined the Beacon program, which is one of the technology centers that Salesforce funds.
We decided to talk to some of our friends about life here in HP. This is the Bayview Hunters Point Beacon's computer and technology lab where we edited some of the footage.
You can't really do much without getting shot around here, or getting shot at.
This is The Homeless Orchestra, Part 2, the second of a two-part series on the collaborative process of solving the problem of homelessness in our community.
I'm Paulo Zambrano. How I got here, if you really want to go back. I'm totally psyched for this. I'm scared and I'm excited. I'm just a whole mess of emotions right now. I was schooled in the whole, corporations are bad, fuck WTO, and then the fact that I was given this opportunity to actually go inside the belly of the beast and interact and talk with these people and discuss policy, and it's mind-boggling because, we've always been, on the bottom looking up, and then we can finally look from the top of the world and just sort of rub elbows with these. It's totally, I'm excited, assuming I would get this.
As we're doing our introductions, there's actually 3 people that aren't here that are part of this group. 2 of them are youth, and one of them is the adult that works with Cisco that is going to be bringing them.
שלום, אני ליטל, אני גרה בנצרת עילית, זו עיר שמשלבת ערבים ויהודים ביחד. אני לומדת בבית ספר שרת מכיתה ז', ועכשיו אני בשנה האחרונה שלי בבית ספר, בכיתה י"ב. אמא שלי תמיד אמרה שכדי להגשים את החלום שלי, שזה להיות אסטרונאוטית, אני צריכה ללמוד טוב.
תגיד, אתה רוצה פרצוף מרכז
ואני לומדת פיזיקה, מחשבים, כימיה ומתמטיקה ואנגלית.
שלום, קוראים לי סברין גרייב ואני ערבייה ישראלית בת 17.5, לומדת בבית ספר בפטיסטי בנצרת. אני גרה בכפר כנא, כל יום בבוקר אני באה באוטובוס לנצרת ואני לומדת ביולוגיה ואני אוהבת מאוד את המדע. יש לי, כל החברים שלי נמצאים בו בבית ספר. אנחנו עכשיו מסיימים בית ספר וזה, כמו שאומרים, my senior year, שאני צריכה לסיים את הבית ספר, לצאת ואחר כך לאוניברסיטה. חבל מאוד שזאת השנה האחרונה שלנו ביחד ולא נראית ביום יום, כל יום אחד את השני. אבל נצרת עיר מאוד חשובה מבחינה דתית, בגלל שישו נולד פה ועשה פה המון ניסים. זה כיף לחיות פה במדינה ובמקומות כל כך קדושים ויש מהם המון היסטוריה, זה נותן חשיבות למקום וזה חלק מהזהות והישות העצמית שלי. וגם זה מאוד חשוב לי בגלל שגם אני נוצריה, אז זהו.
למרות הכל אנחנו יודעים שלשנינו בעצם יש את אותם בעיות, אותם פעילויות משותפות. אנחנו בסך הכל בני נוער ויש לנו אותם דברים משותפים, למשל היציאות שלנו, החברים, זה הכל משותף, זה לא, אין פה שום דבר שונה.
הבנו בעצם שאין כל כך הבדל בינינו לבין היהודים, כי רואים כאן שאורך החיים שלנו הוא אותו דבר ואנחנו נבלה יותר ביחד, נכיר אחד את השני, אז זה יפתח את הדלתות לעתיד טוב יותר ולמדינה טובה יותר.
So this is going to go out in a bunch of materials that Fortune Magazine sends out to their conference participants. Do you guys know what Fortune Magazine is? They ask, are you willing to do media interviews?
The contrast here is, ABC, CNN, youth documentary, so for a lot of people that's going to be really appealing.
We leave for Aspen in about like a month, 5 weeks from now, and I'm kind of worried about the conference, or at least the preparation, we haven't really technically prepared yet. It's just really that I'm kind of afraid. It's only been really starting to sink in because of the meetings over at Salesforce that we've been having, that this is really a huge deal.
How do you present yourself? Am I going to shake his hand, kind of shake my hand, like this way, or am I going to shake my hand like this way?
ואישה נותנת יד. אז אם אתם עומדות מול גברים, יש מקומות שגברים לא מושיטים ראשונים את היד. ותמיד מחכים שהאישה מושיטה ראשונה את היד. תמיד תושיטו יד.
Am I going to act like I'm hostile?
אתם חייבות להיות מנומסות.
Am I going to look him in the eye, or am I going to look down?
פגע עם שתי ילדות צעירות, שתי נשים צעירות. כן? יכול לחשוב שהן צוחקות ממנו. אולי הקרחת שלו לא מסורקת נכון ככה, אולי, תסלחו לי, החנות שלו פתוחה, אולי זה. קודם כל, אל תסרקו אנשים מלמעלה עד למטה. לא להסתכל עליהם, גם אם לובשים בגדים מאוד מעניינים.
You're looking for, first of all, intensity. So the difference you can make is in how you ask the question and who you are.
Nervous.
Yeah.
See, because I'm not a good talker. I mean, I can, but
Yeah.
you can go on and on.
One of the main foundations that make me who I am, I feel, is being a part of the activist circle, protesting, grassroots organization and such, right? So, and then one of the main stigmas of corporations, coming from, I guess, from that side of...
Are you protesting against corporations?
No, that's why... No, I mean, it's not that I want to protest, it's just more like there's a stigma, and it's more of like, corporations automatically equal evil, they exploit the poor, they...
All corporations?
No, yeah, that's what I want to ask you. Do you think corporations are inherently evil?
No, I don't. I think you can't... I think that it's like people. It's like all things. Corporations are not good or bad. It's what you do with the corporation that matters. So you can take a company and you can do good things with it. You can take a company, you can do bad things with it. So it's all about leadership. That's our approach, which is to kind of be transformational in our industry, which is the software industry, but then also to create this concept of what we call compassionate capitalism. Because in my opinion, you can't be a leader in your industry without also being a leader in your community today.
We're very excited to get to Aspen, of course, and to see you guys and to work together in a team and see these important people. It's one in a lifetime.
I'm excited. As long as I don't cause an international incident, I think it'll be a success. There's a couple of people that I'd really like to interview. So, like the president of NPR for National Public Radio, and what's the name of that guy again?
Oh yeah, Jaron. He's a computer guy, very sort of counterculture kind of guy.
Very eccentric.
I'm mainly looking for just to meet a bunch of important people, and yeah, that's basically it.
The flight from Israel to New York is 12 hours, and then we have to fly from New York to Denver, which is around 4 hours.
Yeah.
It's a very long journey for us.
Okay, so do we have any last questions? And then we'll let you guys get back home. You have a long drive tonight.
Can I take a picture of both of you from the webcam?
נהדרת. בטח, אני ראיתי אותה מבט ראשון, אני אהבתי אותה. והרגשתי היא כמו של סברי, כמו הבת שלנו.
מה הציפיות שלך?
לעשות כיף ולנסות להשתלב, לפתח גם, לרחב את האופקים שלנו. כן, להרחיב את האופקים שלנו, כי אנחנו פשוט חיים במדינה כל כך קטנה ולא כל כך יודעים המון על העולם החיצוני הגדול.
יראו את כל הפרויקטים שעושים פה ושיבינו שבעצם דרכנו אפשר לעשות הכל, שאנחנו הראש שלנו מאוד פתוח ושאנחנו יכולים לשנות הכל, ואנחנו לא חושבים כמו כל המבוגרים שיש להם כאלה.
ובכיף ראיתי ילדה נהדרת, ילדה מקסימה, והייתי בטוחה שגם המשפחה בדיוק אותו דבר.
אני רוצה לשתות לחיים לבנות שלכם, שאתם צריכים להיות מאוד גאים בהם, שהן ילדות נפלאות ואנחנו מאוד גאים בהם ושמחים איתם. אתם יודעים, זה כמו שזורקים אבן לאגם, וזה עושה כאלה גלים, ריפלס. אז אנחנו זרקנו את האבן, ועכשיו זה התחלה של הגל, ויבואו עוד ועוד גלים, ושזה יתפשט לכל מאיתנו, דרך נצרת ונצרת עילית לכל הארץ ולאזור.
לחיים.
This is the kitchen, the job I work at. I call people up and beg them to go to our events, basically. So French Canadian, eh?
Yeah, she's French Canadian.
Do you speak French?
No, she's just French Canadian.
So she's not French Canadian.
No, she is French Canadian.
But she can't speak French.
She can't speak French.
So she's just Canadian?
No, she's French Canadian.
Can she speak Canadian?
No, she speaks English.
So she's British.
No, she's French Canadian. She just speaks English. So she's French, but
She just doesn't.
no, she's not French. She's French Canadian.
So she's black.
Yes, she is black, but that's not the point. Yes, she's black and French Canadian.
So she's half?
No, she's all black and all French Canadian.
This is my desk. I think this is sort of, it's just as good as it's gonna get, you know? I have drawers and a highlighter.
The kids today, they got nothing to say, they got nothing to say, because they taught them that way, they wanna watch them grow old and put them in their grave till they're gone. They walk down the street with their hearts in their hands, and they grow up too fast, and then they can't understand what it's like to be a woman, or maybe a man, 'cause it's wrong. You watch them standing in line, you see them going insane, 'cause they wasted their time while they're waiting in vain. This is the way it should be. You were born to be free, so why you wasting away? Why you wasting away?
Fresh Eyes, 2004. It's Theo Ellington, day before the trip. It's an hour till I had to go to Salesforce for the meeting. The meeting with our parents. Here I am, getting ready to pack this bag. The dress-up shirt. Every man must have one. Every man. They gotta have a dress-up coat. Oh no, a dress-up shirt and a leather coat. There's two things every man must have. And some house slippers too. The big green bag, it's done with. But of course, I got another bag right here. You know, us black folks, we like to overpack, so I mean, it's all good, because you never know. That's the way I look at it, you never know.
Curious, Mr. Sombrano, what your first feelings were when you heard about this project.
It's a mixed feeling. I mean, I feel so proud, but at the same time, what's going to do there? There's a confusion, a mixed feeling, really.
And I think that this should be a moment that you guys should never forget. And as you grow older and off into the career, you'll think about that first out-of-state program that you guys did together.
fly out to Aspen. And I'm tired. I'm tired.
It's not like a typical conference where you would go and try to do business deals necessarily or networking. It's really supposed to be authentic, exclusive in terms of getting together and talking about the state of the world.
In our culture, we're scared of kids, especially you two, kids in exactly your demographic. You guys need to remember that you're not just representing yourselves. You're representing communities you come from. You're representing Salesforce.com, Salesforce.com Foundation, and you're actually personally representing Mark Benioff.
We can go over the schedule, and then take you over to where we think would be a good place for you to sort of be for the interviews.
Okay.
Discuss how we're going to get the people to you for the interviews, and then go over to the St. Regis and show you the venues for tomorrow. So this is really the main lucrative area.
Okay.
So from where you are, you'll have a straight line to CNN.
We got CNN on the hill. We're over there on the rock. I think we got a cooler place than that.
It's pretty, and you can see them, and you can film, directly over here, and you can get everybody over here, and you can move, around a little, and you don't just stay right there.
Right.
But that's your key areas where we bring the interview
Where we'll do the
people. Right. And then.
So would we have like chairs or something like that over there? Or?
All right, we'll talk to Delwyn. I'm sure we can get you some chairs.
Basically, my dad says you can tell how affluent a neighborhood is by how wide the streets are. And these are some pretty wide streets.
We can help people with malaria. We can help people with HIV/AIDS. We can do something about global warming. Well, how much is it going to cost?
Our Israeli filmmakers have just joined us. I want them just to introduce themselves. So you guys look really tired. You gotta go back and go to bed now so you can have energy for tomorrow.
I went through about 15 hours.
15 hours, wow. Well, you're not the only ones. These people from South Africa and Vietnam.
Yeah,
there's some serious flying to get here.
Welcome to Brainstorm. I'm Rick Kirkland, and we at Fortune are very pleased to be here in Aspen, hosting the fourth in what promises to be the best Brainstorm event yet.
Now, I just wanted to mention another thing that you may not know. We have 4 young filmmakers, video makers here, who are making a documentary at Brainstorm. I hope you'll meet them, and I hope you'll cooperate with them if they'd like to talk to you.
Fortune was both extremely excited, but at the same time they were a little nervous. And to tell you the truth, so was I, because this is such an extraordinary opportunity that to do it wrong would be so much worse than to do it well would be good.
How do you think technology can promote diversity?
I was wondering if you have any advice for teenagers to really try and find themselves and sort of find their place in society.
We came here, this is who we are, and we're not trying to pretend someone else. And we feel comfortable working with people.
Nice to meet you, Paolo.
Leo.
Leo, good to meet you.
Sabrina.
Sabrina, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
See you.
I still want to ask you, what's sort of like the major choice in your life that sort of put you in where you are in your life right now? Sort of, yeah, one or two major choices.
You know, I made up my mind that I wasn't interested in entertainment. I wasn't interested in income or high standard of living. I just wanted to help my country.
So what kind of person the military made you be? When did you become?
Well, I think that when you rise through the ranks of the military, especially through the Army, you have to have a really good understanding of people. Well, if you look at what the United States Army is doing today in Iraq, what you realize is there's 140,000 people over there that are on the ground in a very difficult position. Someone has to look after them, has to motivate them, give them the right instructions, develop them, rotate them, support them. It's about leadership. And so I think you become very humanistic. You learn that there's good and bad in everyone. You learn that things are what you make of them. You learn to look on the bright side of life and try to help your fellow human being, because that's what it's all about.
So sad that we are going into the 21st century with all our achievements in science and technology and education and everything. But on the other hand, we sit in front of that television screen and keep seeing blood and wars on a daily basis.
One of the speakers in there suggested that it may be that some kind of other type of catastrophe will have to come in order to calm the world down, like a great epidemic of something that we all suffer from. And that may be the case, but I do think that we are in a great warring time.
It has been proven war has never ever solved any problems.
I think that what we're all searching for in the world is a greater sense of connectedness to one another.
The question for us all is whether people can work out their differences without coming to violence.
That is a really good question. I wish I knew the precise answer. I think what we need to have is a satellite filled with giant tanks of Prozac that sprays it over the whole planet.
Well, I'm an optimist. If I wasn't an optimist, I wouldn't organize a conference like this. This conference is based on an optimistic idea that if we think about the world's problems and we talk more, we can come to better solutions together.
If you look at the Israeli-Palestinian situation and see how difficult it is, there's a temptation to give up hope, and that would be very dangerous. I think it's up to your generation to find new solutions, because the old people who make the decisions today unfortunately grew up in a very different world.
The older generation of men are the ones who are really, pushing and killing the women and children in this world.
Right now, in this summer of 2004, we see there's a fair amount of conflict in the world that is expressed in violence. And I don't think it's a promising era, but we all have the capacity to do better today and then to do better tomorrow. I hope, and you all who are the hope of the future, I hope that your work and your experiences will build a better world than we've been part of.
It is all about optimism. Keep your mind focused on strong beliefs that there is a change, and that change will come from strong minds like yourselves.
The decision makers who make decisions on these issues do not understand the new world. It is your responsibility, of your generation, to explain to them how the world has changed.
It was 95 degrees here today in Aspen, right? We're at 8,000 feet in the Colorado Rockies. How could it be 95 degrees here?
The one thing about September 11th, it was a lightning rod for our organization, and everybody understanding we're going to have to change to push the information up.
If you say we can't do anything about terrorism until we have proof beyond a reasonable doubt that there's a problem, I think we're just setting ourselves up once again to fail to connect the dots.
So you guys have just been to 2 conference sessions, your first 2 conference sessions here at the Aspen Brainstorm.
Yeah, the conference that I went to was the decline in American reputation, which was basically about, or the part I got out of it was why other people don't like Americans.
I think that America helped to a lot of countries all over the world, so I really don't understand why.
Maybe it's because like America, she's the boss of the world. Maybe just people don't like to have bosses.
Maybe the rest of the world is afraid from this big America.
Because everywhere you go, you see some American product trying to Americanize someone.
You know, I'm Filipino. Most of us have dark skin, but a lot of the Filipino stars in the Philippines, they're all light-skinned. They all try and look as American as possible.
Each one of us has his own religion, culture at the basis, but sometimes I decline myself and become American totally. Like, I imitate it totally. I don't just take the good qualities of it. That's why it means that I decline the authentic, I'm not being genuine over here. So this is negative imitation.
My name's Paulo. I'm 17 years old.
You know what I'd like to do?
Yeah.
Is it possible to move us this way so we don't have to look around that? Is that going to screw up your shot?
Oh no, it's actually better.
Yeah, I just want to, it's hard to kind of keep peeking around that thing.
Yeah.
So why don't you get set up? Take your time. That is the world's smallest camera.
Ready when you are. Alright, so my name is Paulo Zambrano.
I could only
I'm
do it
17 years old.
years of my life, and I delayed doing the Chinese. A lot of people talk about careers. I'm not really a believer in careers. Just doing the right thing at the right time, what seems right to you.
This conference is pretty huge. A lot of movers and shakers. A lot of people pretty much make the world go round, and it's really kind of overwhelming for me right now.
Yeah.
And what advice would you give me? What would you want me to take away from this conference? Right.
Well, first thing you should do is relax, because they all go to the bathroom the same way you do. And it's something that's important to remember. And they all have their flaws, and they all have their problems, and you have to keep that in mind. I mean, looking at me, you wouldn't guess that I was in a mental hospital twice for manic depression, but I was. And each of these people have hidden things behind their success. When you're doing real well in life and then suddenly you end up in a mental hospital and you're diagnosed with a disease that you didn't know you had, number one, it's kind of shocking.
Yeah.
Shatters the old ego pretty quickly. But number two, it's very good because it teaches you to have perspective on life that other people won't have. But I bet you if you asked anybody in this crowd what their most important experience was, they'd probably tell you it was something bad that happened to them rather than something good that happened to them.
Wonderful.
Great.
Okay.
That help?
We're good.
Thank you so much, Mr. Boyd.
Pleasure.
Bob.
Bob, please.
Thank you.
None of this Mr. stuff.
I tried to commit suicide on the campus, and I went to a mental hospital. Then they transferred me to a
Which
pub.
school was that?
Branson in Ross.
In Ross?
Yeah.
Yeah, my roommate from prep school lives in Ross.
Wow.
I was going to say, it sounded like Ross.
Yeah.
Were you depressed?
Yeah.
What was it about?
Oh, it was just more about the kids and sort of, it's such a cultural shock, it's kind of hard to really be open and talk about. I had suicidal tendencies. I was locked up because there's the whole shame factor. And,
Oh, I know.
God,
Well,
my
I'm
life
glad
right
that
now.
you're open about it. It's
Yeah.
a really important thing. When I went to the White House, I worked for Clinton in the White House.
Yeah.
One of the most important things I did was talk openly about my own mental illness.
Wow.
And I think it's a really important thing to tell people that you've been down so they know you can come back
Yeah.
and have a life again.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry you suffered. because I've been there. I mean, I've had suicidal depressions,
Mhm.
a number of them, so
Yeah.
I know what it feels like, to say the least.
Yeah.
But you should have a lot of pride in the fact that you came back from what you came back from.
Thank you.
Sure.
It's really brave of you to say that. So.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
You know, be in touch anytime. Let me give you a card.
Oh, definitely.
I've done a lot of work with advocacy groups for mental illness
That's
over
great.
the last 15 years, since I was diagnosed.
Wow.
Well, I figure if people like me don't do it, who's going to do it?
I'm not as depressed. I'm not on Prozac anymore. And I'm still dealing with it, though. It happens every so often that, you know, I guess an inner part of me knows that I'm still capable of this stuff. It still crops up every so often, and I try and deal with it, you know, accordingly. But yeah, I'm really happy with my life. I think it's just because I've sort of taken control of my life. It's just sort of taking initiative to make, you know, your life sucks. What are you going to do about it? You do something to change your situation. I think that's sort of been a guiding principle in my life right now.
For the American Red Cross to serve all the community, we have to be able to reach new immigrant populations, we have to reach the inner city, we have to reach the extreme rural area. We can do that so much more easily through technology.
Because of technology, we have more ways to make a living than we used to. More people can be themselves, they can find their own way. So in that way, I think technology's really helped diversity a lot. In fact, it might be the only thing that ever really has.
Technology itself, as you know, is a neutral force. It's a question of who controls the technology.
We say at PBS that technology has finally caught up with our mission, because our mission has always been to use television, radio, internet, all forms of media to educate, to inform, to reflect the diversity of this great country.
I mean, one of the great paradoxes about the world we live in today is that the United States is the most advanced society in the world, but it is also paradoxically the least informed society on the rest of the world.
And I think we have a long way to go to leverage technology for fostering true understanding cross-culturally.
I think technology, and especially the internet, can promote diversity very well. It's a very inclusive, non-discriminating medium.
So I've seen schools, one in a rich area and one in a poor area, where everybody's been talking back and forth, talking about what football team they like and what their interests are, never meet each other. And suddenly when they're brought together, maybe at the end of a school year, somebody you thought was a boy is a girl. And somebody that you thought was big is small, and somebody that you thought was one race is another. So the oddest things happen when you're able to communicate without having the prejudice before, the prejudging before to occur.
I think that the internet, cheap devices, cameras, and all this stuff is going to substantially increase people talking directly to other people in countries and not neuter culture as it comes into the US, and you sort of get it raw. And I think that will enhance diversity.
I think diversity should promote diversity. You know, I really honestly believe we can have as much technology as possible. You know, I've been in the most rural areas of South Africa, and people have cell phones. You know, I've been in refugee camps, and people have cell phones. And so, for me, there needs to be a much broader dialogue.
You know, did you ever see this cartoon years ago where there was this picture of a dog sitting in front of a computer terminal? And there's this other dog that walks up to the dog and says, "What are you doing?" You know, and he says, "Well, I'm on the internet, and on the internet, no one knows I'm a dog." Oh, yeah. Nobody knows I'm a kid. Nobody knows.
What I like about Brainstorm is it's a place where you can be yourself. You are not protecting yourself because of the press. You can state your mind, you can say what you want, you can meet people, express your thoughts and your pains, your beliefs about the world and what's happening, whether it's good or bad.
Since it's raining, I think we should continue a little bit longer and hope the rain passes so that, yes ma'am.
I think we as Arab people would respect very much if you are very honest about your stance in the region. Say you are a superpower, you are. Say you have your strategic interest in our region, you are. You need the oil, you need many other things. But I'm afraid to tell you, none of the Arabs believe that you are there to bring democracy or human rights.
We didn't go to Iraq to take Iraq's oil. We went to Iraq to eliminate a man who was a great danger to the world and a terrible, terrible torturer and abuser and rapist of the Iraqi people. And I don't apologize for that.
Since the invasion and occupation, most surveys in the Muslim world show opinions of the United States have gone way down. Why is that?
Some of it is an inevitable result of being at war. War is an ugly business, and it produces civilian casualties. It unfortunately produces abuses like Abu Ghraib. It will look different in 5 years.
Can the globe survive without cooperation between the West and the Muslim world? If you're framing it in terms of a survival question of the globe, then we have to put together our best in order to find solutions. And solutions are indeed possible.
This conference has a lot of leaders. Political leaders, business leaders, leaders in humanitarian causes, academic leaders, really extraordinary people. It's important to expand the conversation and to grow what this conference is about. There is hardly one session where the next generation or kids or youth weren't mentioned, because what are we talking about? We're trying to make the world a better place, and who are we going to make it a better place for? To me, it's very important to bring younger people into this mix. And I felt really proud that the kids were here and that everybody was giving their time so enthusiastically.
When I was your ages, I had many big ideas and many hopes. And sometimes I got the impression they weren't doable, so I didn't pursue a lot of them. I wish that I had had the courage back then at your age to pursue them at that time.
I think you have to be courageous in your life.
Be courageous.
Push the boundaries.
Never take a no.
You can't live with fear.
Listen to adults, but don't take every advice they give you.
Take risks.
Be a dreamer.
Do things you haven't done.
Be patient.
Set high goals.
Be proud of your achievements.
I don't think there's anything that will help you better in life than to always do your best.
If your job is to screw in light bulbs, be the best person at screwing in light bulbs on the planet.
I think people who always do their best, there's a correlation that success will follow them.
So the key is really try to excel at everything you do, but always kind of direct yourself towards the things that you're passionate about.
And don't be afraid to fail. You have to fail.
Very often, people who have a lot of charisma are filled with doubt. So this thing that you're thinking about, your artistic voice, can just as well come from a great doubt as it can come from a great confidence.
Be willing to take chances. Be willing to accept a job even if it isn't perfect. And know that if you can prove yourself in that job, there's a way to evolve it into something else. And just stay curious.
But as artists, I think that what we should protect is doubt and uncertainty, and learn how to be present in doubt and uncertainty.
You really don't know what life is going to bring you and where you're going to go, but you have to prepare for it. And if you prepare for it, you don't know where life is going to take you, around the world, places that you never thought. You'll meet people you never thought. You all never thought you were going to sit here in Aspen, right? Do this, develop that, your mind, everything else will follow.
Open yourself to change. which means you don't prejudge quickly and you don't understand too quickly. One of the biggest problems, and I'm in the technical world, filled with smart people. Everybody has to show they're smart, so everybody has to understand you so quickly. You say something, oh, I understand, I'm fast, I understand. Well, when you go back, it's very hard to understand other people. Ask anyone that's married. Husband, do you understand your wife? Sometimes they'll say. Wife, do you understand your husband? I keep telling him this, but he never seems to get it. Every family says the same thing. So be careful when you're being quick to understand, being quick to judge. Give people a little room and don't be too quick to understand their motives or to understand where what you think they mean. Explore it a bit, and that way you open up yourself to these innovations and new ideas from other places.
Don't take no. You're going to get thousands of no's in your lifetime. No, you can't do this. No, it's impossible. When you actually succeed, it's amazing how many times people say yes.
This is the advice I want to give you, and I'm not quite sure how to put this, but I teach college sometimes, and in the last few years, there's like these thousands and thousands of kids who come through college who are like all really well adjusted and they dress really well and they look really good, and they all seem kind of a little boring to me. And like, I want to advise you to develop some neurotic obsessive quality about something, no matter what it is. Get, something that's not dangerous or bad anyway, but just like get obsessively, weirdly, crazily involved in some damn thing. That's my advice to you.
And what do you think that'll do for me if I get obsessively involved in something?
It'll teach you how to think, it'll teach you how to care about the world, it'll teach you how to understand yourself and your mind, and it'll make you powerful.
Well, who doesn't like Justin Timberlake? Come on.
Me?
I don't.
You don't?
I listen to like 80s music because that impresses
I like Enrique Iglesias.
זה מאוד עניין אותי הקשר של, כי ככה זרקו אתכם למים עם עוד שני אנשים, לבנות קבוצה ולעשות משהו ביחד.
קודם כל, כולנו צעירים, כולנו באותו גיל, וזה כאילו מאוד קרב בינינו. והייתה לנו שיחה על מוסיקה גם, ומה הדברים שמעניינים אותנו, הם ממש חמודים.
We went to a Mexican restaurant. I think it was the first time the girls ever been to a Mexican restaurant, didn't know the foods. But I saw how the boys helped them, read the menu, understand what they really want to order, and then just had fun together. And the way, when we walked down back to the hotel, Sabrina and Theo were like hugging each other, walking like a couple. Don't put that on the film, her mother is gonna kill me.
תיאו אלינגטון ממש חמוד, הוא צעיר ממני בשנתיים, 3 שנים, הוא כזה חמוד, כל הזמן הוא מחכה את נתן וסטיב. וגם פאולו מאוד מאוד חמוד, הוא מאוד התעניין בסשנס, והוא רצה ללכת וללמוד ולעשות ולדבר על זה, כאילו מאוד התעניין, הוא ממש בחור חרוץ כל הזמן חילקו את הכרטיסים שלהם.
Thank you. Wow, I love this. You have cards. Ellington Productions. Wow.
When we come back here with a new crew of 4 kids from around the world, what advice would you give those kids before they got here in terms of what they should expect and what's happening? What would you say, Paulo?
Relax, they're just people too.
I would just say come with like no expectations.
Come, relax, talk with people. They are like us, even they are high society, but they are only humans.
To come and see and watch how people are ruling the world, because it might give them a good advices for the future.
The first question you asked me when we first met was,
do you think corporations are inherently evil?
what is your answer to that question, Palu?
No, they're not all evil, because there have been a lot of sessions here trying to get business to actually do some actual good social change in the world.
Well, there's a very big corporation in the world, McDonald's. The man who founded it was actually dedicated to public service. His widow, she began talking with me several years ago, and out of this conversation, she determined to make a substantial bequest, a grant to us. It's about $235 million.
It sort of changed my perception of the corporation, and no, they're not all evil.
In fact, the companies that help people most, generally, not always, but generally, also make the most money.
Capitalism is about meeting the needs of people and making money by doing so. That's basically what it's about. And smart capitalists realize that. And that's what we're trying to facilitate. So, you know, there's a lot of great things that happen here.
From the time when they were in the office to the point where they understand that everybody's trying to do something special and good, and this is an important forum for that, it's been truly a transformational experience for them. They're leaving as a different set of people than they came as.
Actually attending this conference makes me feel, I guess, proud of myself, because, I mean, like 2 years ago, who knows, I didn't even think of coming to a conference like this.
These ants remind me of the conference in the sense that, you know, before I went to this conference, you know, you just do your own little self-sustained thing, you have your routine, you take the bus, you take public transportation, you do whatever in this enclosed town, but then I come to this big conference and you realize how tiny you are in terms of the issues, of the global sort of issues that are going around. And so when I'm looking at these ants, it just feels so wide, and all these ants are just doing their own thing. And it's such a wide open kind of an area, and they're probably oblivious to the fact that there's something greater going on out there.
To meet all these people, it's really, it's amazing.
That shows that if you want something in your life, you will achieve it. If you do everything that you can, and even more, you will get there. It gave me lots of inspiration and confidence, and I think it's gonna help me to improve my life.
We spotted the ocean at the head of the trail. Where are we going? So far away. Somebody told me this is the place where everything's better and everything's safe. Walk on the ocean, step on the stones, flesh becomes water, wood becomes bone. Now back at the homestead, where the air makes you choke, and people don't know you, trust is a joke. Don't even have pictures, just memories to hold. Grow sweeter each season as we slowly grow.
gonna do a little imitation. It's the four of us sitting here in the interview. So this is how the scene starts off. So Theo will come down, he'll sit in the first seat right here. And then Nathan will go, if you can move over here, that'd be great. Paulo, you wanna get the boy-girl thing going right here? Okay, so we got the interview going. We got the interview going, okay? So then, 5 minutes through the interview, Nathan, he cuts us off. So he goes, excuse me. I don't mean to interrupt, but if you had 5 minutes with Osama bin Laden, what you would do? And if you could just look at the group and not the camera, that'd be great. And this will be the last question, we'll wrap this up. That's it.
What?